Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. Are you guys ready to get artsy? I sure hope so. Let's see. I need to wait a second. There we go. Yay. Okay, so a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today before I get all sidetracked. You know how I do. On my website, when you buy a printable, be sure when you buy it that you download it to your downloadables on your computer and make a note of where you downloaded it. Just because remember that the link in your email only lasts for 24 hours after your first download. So if you don't save it to your downloads, then we have a whole situation where I have to try and send it to you, and well, it just turns into a thing. So if you could, because then I've got to go back and see which ones you bought and how to send them, and anyway, it's just easier. Then you can print it as many times as you want, on as many different surfaces as you want, and color and create to your heart's content. And that's what printables are all about, right? So I wanted to make sure I got that housekeeping thing out of the way. And always, like always, please, the cost for this class is super easy. It is follow me and like me on Facebook at Corbiere-Scott Designs, and on Instagram at Corbiere-Scott Designs. And then remember that my website for purchasing my art printables is AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com, and my email is AnnCorbiereScottDesigns@gmail.com. I know, sounding repetitive, isn't it? But that I've read that that's a good thing. Anyway, also, once you've taken this class, please ask to join my private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann. That's where we share our creations and all of our, who is here? Hello, Keely. Hey, Allison, how are you? No, Catherine, I'm not talking, it wasn't just you, my sweet. There were Megan, how are you, my darling? Your baby is beautiful. What was I saying? Look at that. See, Catherine, you know how my brain works. No, it's happened to a few people because they just didn't download it and save it to their downloads and know exactly where they saved it. So just for the future. Oh, I know. Please ask to join the private Facebook group. Hey, Tess. Let's Get Artsy with Ann. That's where we share the all of our artsy creations and you know, some insider information maybe every now and again. What was I going to say? Anyway, but please make sure that you answer the questions. There's only 3 and they're super easy, and one of them is asking for your email address. And the reason I ask for that is so that I can put you on my email address or my email distribution list, so that you can kind of know what's happening and like what supplies to bring to the next class. And here's another thing, that please open them when you get them. I'm not just saying that because I think I'm a wealth of information, but I am. Whatever, as long as it has to do with art. But if you don't open it, MailChimp is my email distribution company, and they will pop you off the list if you don't engage in some kind of way. So at least open the email. I would love it if you would subscribe. That makes a huge difference. And then you'll continue to be in the artsy know. And who doesn't want to be there? So today, I asked you to bring lots of gold things. And I bet you're wondering why. The reason is because today we are going to talk about Gustav Klimt. So, Gustav Klimt was an Austrian symbolist, artist, painter, and he, you know, like many artists, he started out in a very traditional sense. He went to art school, and his art was quite traditional, but growing up, his father was a gold engraver. So you see where we're starting to explain a lot about Gustav. Anyway, hey Barbara. The cool thing about Gustav is that he kind of absorbed everything around him, like most artists do. Hi, Sharon. Anyway, he had some tragedy that hit him. His father and his brother died when he was 30 years old, and it was like a very short period of time in between. I don't remember exactly, but it was like months. Anyway, he never wanted to paint scenes of historical things ever again. And because that's where he was before this tragedy happened. Once all of that happened, he wanted to paint pictures that showed his emotions and how he was feeling. And that's when he started to introduce symbols, right here, patterns that reflected his emotion, and that's when that's when his beautiful gold period began. And his Art Nouveau was just breathtaking. It was just breathtaking. I just have loved him forever. I know I sound like a broken record, but you know, I do just love artists. The most famous of his paintings is probably The Kiss, which everyone would know. And the Portrait of Adele is quite famous also. But he also did one called Tree of Life. And that's what we're going to talk about today. One of the best quotes I could find from him was, "Art is a line around your thoughts." And I thought that was so apropos for any kind of art. But I really wanted to make sure that I emphasize that all artists grow and evolve and change, and so you will too. Please don't tear a page out of your art journal or throw something away. That shows your growth, where you were and how much you've grown and what you're capable of. By absorbing everything that's around you. I did want to show you a couple of things. I did this in a class that I taught recently, back when we could teach in person. Tree of Life. I did this Tree of Life in my wordsmith art class at Scraps of Love. That was a really fun tree to do. And it was also a bunch of color theory. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is this. I really mixed up some some art genres. I used Klimt's quote on a kind of a modern art background. But you know what? It's my art journal, so it can be whatever you want. But just be inspired. Just kind of be open to the inspiration that's around you. So here is the first Tree of Life that I've created, and in this style. So I'll tell you what I did. I pencil drew my tree, and I used those swirly curly branches, the lines for the branches. That's kind of his jam. He loves those repetitive swirly patterns. So be thinking about that when you're doing your tree. Anyway, so once I drew my tree, I painted it gold. Well, at first I went around with my gold Uniball. And here's a tip about this. If you have a colored Uniball, make sure that you prime it before you start, because it came out kind of orange when I first started. So then I kind of had to fiddle around. But remember, like any good artist, you can fix anything. Like I just make those pencil marks. I just make them become part of what I'm doing. But I will show you a trick today about working in pencil first and then creating serious, Tessa. That's crazy. I know, I just saw that commercial about the pandemic. Wasn't that crazy? Because the what was the one that commercial was about polio, I think. It's kind of a crazy situation. Anyway, so once I painted it gold, so I outlined the whole my pencil line in gold, and then I painted it. I have these shimmering lights from Prima. That's why I said bring whatever you have that is gold, because anything that you have is gonna work, right? I have, and then I painted the background with some shimmery blue that I have. I was turned on by this, I have these handmade watercolors. Did you know there is such a thing as handmade art watercolors? And they're fabulous. These happen to be from a company called Hydra Color. She sells on Instagram, or on Etsy, and I'm telling you, they're the most sought after paints. So you have to, every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, she releases some colors, and those colors are, she has a limited amount of colors available, so you just have to jump on it. It's the craziest thing, but they're beautiful. They're so saturated and beautiful. And these are my Schminke, which are, seriously, you get what you paid for. They're expensive, but the colors are so gorgeous. So just know, you remember, I also have Crayola watercolors. I don't deny myself any cuteness. So, I also have gold, speaking of gold things, I have a gold colored pencil from Prisma. I have these Pen Touch paint pens from Prisma. So I thought maybe I might be able to fiddle around with those a little bit. It's kind of a work in progress, that's for sure. But I also wanted to show you this trick with, this is Prima, but deco foil, any kind of foil would work. Hey Trees. So if you take a glue stick and you add just a little bit, and then you stick your foil down in it and kind of Tessa. Why isn't it working? Let's see. Sometimes I like to do the edge. Maybe because that's, I want to do the, I want to do this way, right? There. Stop it. So pretty. So just a little bit of glue. I don't want it to be precise. I want it to just be kind of, I want it to kind of just look old and organic. So I just randomly put some glue stick down and then I rub my foil on there. You can see this is very well loved foil. It lasts forever. Look at that! Shiny, so pretty. Gustav would be so proud, wouldn't he? Anyway, so this one, I, like I said, I drew it and then I painted it. Can everybody see that, what I did? Do I need to go a little closer, do you think? Let's see if that works. That's better. Oh, sorry if that was like a roller coaster. I drew it and then I painted it gold, and then I went in with my handmade watercolors and I drew the repetitive shapes, right, and patterns throughout. And then I went in with my, like I said, with my handmade watercolors, and I just added touches of color. Then I just kind of created like a little bit of a, I don't know, little gardeny thing down here with some dabs of color and dabs of green. And Gustav, if you notice, be sure to Google him later on. Your day will be infinitely better, I promise you. I have Gustav Klimt socks. He's the bomb diggity, I'm telling you that, Gustav. Anyway, his signature is quite interesting. So Google him so you can see other parts of his artwork. And is that close enough, Tessa? Hey, Shelly. Should I go closer? Does that, there, can you guys see what I did? You tell me if that's working for everybody. Yes, no, maybe so. There. Does that help? So for the second, so because I've already done the tree, I thought, remember a while ago, closer than that, a while ago I did a heart in the style of Kandinsky with my great niece and nephew. I thought I would do a heart in the style of Klimt. So if you'll notice, I painted my background after I painted the tree. So, right, the blue sky. And then, so I painted it just a washy color. Remember we talked about this? And then you're just gonna come back in with barely, just super, super tight, right up to the edge in a more saturated paintbrush of paint, just to create some movement and some depth, right? And just note, like this is a sorry, this is a project that you can continue to grow and grow and grow with. You can add stuff months down the line. So for this one, I thought I would do a heart. So I am thinking that I want to, I drew my heart, just like whatever, like, you know, nothing needs to be perfect. And then I just thought that I would, remember that I showed you some examples of his patterns. They're very geometric, kind of pretty organic. But if you look at some of his, so in his Tree of Life, they're quite, there's not as many patterns, I should say. I don't think. But then he has a famous painting called The Family, and that has like big areas of color and patterns that are filled with nice bright colors. So I was thinking I would sort of in the style of Kandinsky, I'm just going to fill my heart with symbols and patterns and, you know, whatever. And then within those shapes, I'm going to fill those shapes with more symbols and patterns. So do you see, this could be a project that, again, is quite meditative, and you can be as detailed as you would like it to be. Hi, Kimberly. So, like I said, these can be as detailed or simple as you'd like them to be. The just make sure you incorporate that beautiful gold. I don't care if it's a crayon, seriously, it can be whatever. You just kind of like Zentangle in an Art Nouveau vein, Chris. And you just create it, you know, however you want it to be. So how is everyone doing? In Arizona, our stay-at-home order has been lifted as of midnight last night. Too early, in my opinion. You know it, Chris. That's what I'm here for. Why do you think God put me on this earth? To stretch the creative muscles of myself and everyone I come into contact with. Anyway, so here's a weird thing. So I was just telling someone that I needed to go to the post office yesterday, or the day before. I don't know. Anyway, Thursday probably. Anyway, I went to the post office later than I normally would. I usually try to go right in the middle of the day. Hey, Lenora. Anyway, I got to the post office about 4, which was kind of late in the day, but I had 2 packages that had to go out. So I got to the post office and there were about 15 people in there. Can I tell you, 3 of us had masks on. 3 of all those people. And hardly anyone was practicing social distancing. It just kind of... Fauna, I was just thinking about you this morning. I hope you are art journaling like mad. I was flabbergasted that more people weren't following the guidelines. Ugh, it just... And then Jeff went to pick up dinner last night at a local restaurant that we're trying really hard to support because it's a mom and pop place. And I'm telling you, he said he went in there and he said it was mayhem. There were people everywhere. No one was wearing a mask. They all looked at him like he was the oddball because he had his mask on. And he said, I said, yeah, but the stay-at-home order isn't in effect until midnight. And he said, they said they've been open since Monday. Ugh, honest to Pete, it's going to come back. I just fear that it's going to come back. So I will just continue to just stay in my own house and make art. Although, I will tell you, I took this class last night. My friend, it was terrible, Chris. It was terrible. Oh, Shannon, I know, people, I just don't get it. Anyway, let's move on to something more cheerful. So, I took this flower arranging class last night that was right up my alley. My sister will laugh at this. It was called Sip and Create, flower arranging in foraged and salvaged vessels. So you know, I love me some old junk. So that is, I'm telling you, her floral arrangements were so amazing. Her name is Dory. Everything's Hunky Dory is her business, I believe. Anyway, she did a some of the coolest floral arrangements. I learned so much in that hour and a half. Anyway, one of the things that she did a floral arrangement in a boot, where she just put a tall glass inside of the boot and used that as her vase. And she talked about like having tall things in there and short things and things that spilled over. Well, anyway, one of the things she talked about was she did this flower arrangement. She likes old rusty cans, which I love old rusty cans. But anyway, she got this can of tomatoes, and the can was so beautiful. And she said, I said, where'd you get that can of tomatoes that she was arranging flowers in? And she said, Whole Foods. So I'm going to Whole Foods today. That's my big outing for the day, is to go to Whole Foods and get that can of tomatoes so that I can make that same flower arrangement. Stop it. It was so cool. So how about everybody else? What have they been doing? What have you all been doing? How have you been spending your time during the corona? Have you been making art? Have you been supporting your local businesses? I do too, Chris. I do too. I just wear it when I go in places. And you know. And then I take it off when I get in my car. And hand sanitizer, hand sanitizer, hand sanitizer. This is kind of looking like a little bit of a weird box of chocolates, isn't it? Or is that just my... Ooh, what are you organizing, Trees? I agree, Wendy. I don't think we've been home long enough either. It just freaks me out, and I'm always like, and I don't think I'm a freak about that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you, I'm like so aware of other people's cooties. Oh, that's right, Keels. So what kind of t-shirts are you using for your t-shirt quilt? And Teresa, are you going to be sending me some more pictures? My sister's going through some stuff, and I'm telling you, she's sending me pictures from our childhood. Her old bank book. Oh my gosh, we were dying laughing. Pictures of my curly hair without, my curly hair back before they had curly hair product. Let's just talk about that. Holy smokes. It was enormous. And all I wanted was long, straight hair with feathered bangs, you know? You know what, Lynn? She was also talking about, she talked about succulents, because I have some succulents. I have this old Tonka truck from my, hey Lily Mae, how are you, my sweet? I hope you're making some art. Catherine and your Auntie Sylvia are, I believe. What was I saying? That was a good one too. Come back, thought. Tessa, help me out. Where was I? Oh. Lynn Harvey. I asked her about succulents because I have a couple of old Tonka trucks, because you know what? my brother, my dearly departed brother, liked old junk just like his sister. And so I have one that I've planted some succulents in, and I have, thank you girls, one is so rusted it's kind of disintegrating. So I wanted to replant them in the other Tonka truck. So I asked her, like, is there anything that I should be doing to prep it? And she just said no, that I need to put some gravel in the bottom of the bed of that dump truck and then pack it with the, you know, that cactus potting soil. So is everyone drawing with me? I have been trying my darndest to support as many small paper arts businesses as I can throughout the country who have supported me. You know, I just feel like friendship is a two-way street. They supported me, and so I'm supporting them. And you know, everybody can't have everything, so. And who doesn't like getting art supplies in the mail? Come on. What did you buy? Aquarium gravel. Oh, that's a good idea. For the base, Tessa, right? You finished your heart. Okay, Olga. So now you're going to start. So with this one, I outlined everything with the gold, right? And then I really felt like I wanted it to pop more. And so then I went back in with my waterproof black pen, because I felt like that just would, it just would give it more contrast. And I'm so glad I did. And it also, that's when I started to fill in the shape of the tree or your heart, if that's what you're choosing to do, with repetitive shapes and patterns in the Klimt style. Oh, Lori, I'm dying to see what you're going to make with them. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to, so does that help you, Olga? So once you finish your drawing, this is going to take me a while, but once you finish your drawing, you're going to want to outline it with gold or black, and then you're going to want to start painting or filling in with rich colors. Because Gustav really liked kind of jewel tones, I think, kind of brightish jewel tones that kind of lent themselves to the gold, you know, that worked well with the gold. So then after this, so another thing that's really kind of interesting, and while you're looking at his art later on, because I know that all of you, once you leave this class, you go and try and learn a little bit more from each of these, about these artists. Anyway, once he was really pretty deep into his well, Jeff and I run to the door, Tessa, and get upset if a food package has either one of our, you know, the other person's name on it. But anyway, when he was in his golden period, you'll notice, like especially in the portrait of Adele, you'll notice her face and her hands are very realistic, and then her gown is really more ethereal. So kind of look for that they're way more, the garments, or like, you know, like the blanket in The Kiss and the it's kind of like a robe kind of thing, I think, in The Family, is their faces are realistic, and their hands, but the rest of the painting is quite, is really quite Art Nouveau and quite full of patterns and colors and shapes, so to speak. So be sure and check that out. Does that help? Olga, are you starting to paint or color or whatever? He has some that are kind of quite linear, some of his shapes. So that's kind of fun to add. Not always such round things. And then he also, you know, he goes inside a lot. So this is where it would help if you had more than one size of black pen. Digging that. Maybe triangular. That's cute. So I kind of envisioned this as all gold, and then I want to try and use that I think I want to try and use those jewel-toned handmade watercolors, just because I'm really digging playing with those. But you know, it can be whatever you want. It could be colored pencils, it could be goldenrod, or whatever you have that, just so you can play with the technique, you know. Is everyone tiring of Netflix, or are you still going strong? Anybody watching anything new and interesting? Throw out a topic, Keely, Tessa, somebody. I did not watch Tiger King. Ew. Was it good, Stephanie? I wondered about that. Just because we've lived through it and we had, you know, who knows what really happened, and it was such a tragedy, wasn't it? I have never watched Gilmore Girls either, Keels. I have not. I did start to watch this English, you know, I love me a English story. So on Amazon, there's a channel called Acorn, and I like to watch a lot of the English shows on there. And I started to watch, or maybe it's on Masterpiece with PBS. Maybe it's on that. Anyway, it's called The Forsyth. The Forsyth Saga. Oh, it's good. Scandal in like the 19th century. Oh, it's just so good. So how is it in everyone's neck of the woods? Here, it's quite hot. Although today, it's kind of cooled down. And it's only 90. Crazy, I know. But the pool water is it's warm enough that I've been getting in the pool. Hot flashes help, I will tell you. Because nothing will immediately cool your body down. Yes, it was. Wasn't it, Chris? It was so beautiful. I think because it was just that little bit of breeze, not so much that it made everybody's allergies go mad, but it was beautiful. That's for sure. Oh, are they Keels? I do miss that. I do miss buds on the trees in the spring and, you know, all of that stuff. I want mine to be quite detailed, so I'm just feeling all these shapes. How about you guys? What are you kind of digging that? Stephanie, what else have you been doing? We do have oleanders and those Palo Verde trees. Oh my gosh. Our neighbor has a huge one and it's like it rains pollen into our pool. Did you guys hear my husband cussing about it? Because it was quite loud. I think the neighbor might have heard. Not enough to chop down his tree, but you know. It's just crazy. The pool just gets like this covering. Hey, Allie. This covering of yellow. It's the craziest. And it's so fine that it goes through the net. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Oh gosh. So did you drive over, Stephanie? You didn't fly, did you? It's just all so crazy, isn't it? I mean, who knows how our world is going to change, you know? I was just telling a friend that I think that it has slowed the world down in a good way, though. You know, a lot of it. Allie, how about over there? How are you guys dealing with it? The COVID and all. Were you just so aware of everyone's cooties stuff on the plane? Ugh. Was there still a middle seat? Because I heard there was talk of like they might remove the middle seats, and I thought, I don't know if they would, but oh my gosh, it should be nice, wouldn't it? If you didn't have that person so close to you. Ugh. Really? That's crazy. I know, I'm telling you, it just makes me so nervous that people aren't taking it more seriously. And that it's, you know, that it's going to come back with a vengeance. I'm kind of a hermit, so, you know. Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did, Steph. Oh, golly. Yeah, it's. I'm glad she wears a mask because her husband has a compromised immune system, huh, Chris? And I'm glad that, like Chris is making people wear masks into the store and use hand sanitizer on the way in and limiting how many people can come in the store. It's just the craziest. I don't understand why it's not that. I mean, gosh, people have had to do much harder things in life than wear a mask. Gee whiz. So I am. So my other gig is drawing drawing embroidery patterns for Adorn It. So I am currently working on Washington, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, Washington, California. Let's see. I need to write them down. Anyway, I draw, if you haven't heard, if you've lived under a rock and you haven't heard, I am drawing embroidery patterns for all 50 states. I have 18 of them available through Adorn It, and then, but now I am drawing California, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, and ugh. What's the sixth one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keely, what's the sixth one? Hi, Debbie Miller. Seems I was just drawing on it. What is the sixth one? I'm working on Montana right now, Sienna. Teresa, are you there? Give that baby a smooch for me. Someday I'll get to smooch her in real Washington. Okay, there we go. California, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, and Washington. So if you have any things that I should know about your state, send me an email or send me a DM or I don't know, send me a message on here of things that make your state unique. Oh, boo. Is she at your house? We have a brand new baby in our family. We are so excited. But Uncle Jeff and Auntie Ann cannot go meet that new baby Charlie May just yet. So we just send presents in the mail and look for pictures online. Beg her to send pictures to us. Oh, okay. So, yes, tell her remember I sketched it in the car, Trees, on the way there. We do FaceTime some. We do. I sketched a lot of Montana while I was in the car on the way to Mom and Dad's last summer. And I did Wyoming. So Wyoming is done. I'm just working on Montana and North Dakota. Ohio. I always have like a billion projects going at once. So, my husband with his new Jeep, his new old Jeep. Oh my, he is just happy as a clam. So he bought a 69 Jeep, and if you know me and have ever been to my house, you know we have, yes, my sister is Teresa Corbiere-Scott. Beekler, Chris Wenzel. We have many cars, and there are only 2 people that live in this house. But that's what makes him happy. So, if he's happy, I'm happy. Because you know what? Then that means I can buy lots of paint and markers. Let's do another big one. And fill it with little shapes. Hello, Lucinda. How are you? Are you making something today? Lucinda is who we get all of our delicious lemons from. And she is what she and Debbie Miller and Lauren have art paintables named after them. I'm working on a Teresa and a Joanne because those, exactly, Keely, exactly. They are much cheaper than car parts. I think I'm going to come from the edge on this one. I'm working on a Teresa one and a Joanne one. I named one after my grandmother, who always had pansies growing in her flower beds in front of her little greenhouse on Sugar Island. That was the Anna T one that came out for Mother's Day. But I also put a happy birthday sentiment on there because, you know, everything should be, you know, I don't like to limit myself. Let's see. Do like that, and then do like that, and do like that. I know. Don't you just love that, Trace? Anna T. Our grandmother's name was Anna Teresa. So, my sister and I are both named after her. And Teresa is also named after our other grandma, whose name was Jeanette, because her middle name is Jean. My grandma King, Anna T., always said that she was so proud that all of her girls, meaning her daughters and her granddaughters, were full of moxie. So Teresa and I we can never wimp out on things. How could we not live up to our grandmother's expectations? And she lived through so much. We draw on her strength all the time. Hey Sherry, how are you? Yes, it is Solomon and Sophie, Tessa. The neighbors are having the audacity to be in their own backyard, and Solomon and Sophie do not really appreciate it. They think that Mabel, my next door neighbor, did not get the memo that they're the boss of the neighborhood. How is everybody doing on their project? Am I boring you with my stories? Oh, Sherry, I'm telling you, you need to read that book, The Recipe Box, because it takes place in Sutton's Bay, for crying out loud. You will love it. And it's about a family. And, oh, gosh. It was fabulous. I was sad to hear it. I was sad that it ended. Well, talk to me, Chris. Ask me some questions or something. How about you? Teresa, are you still in your craft room? Are you still working on that? Oh, hey, here's a cool thing. Yeah, Tessa, here we go. So, because of this printable business that I've started, I have found that I'm spending lots of money at Kinko's making laser copies, because if you print on Hammermill and you print with a laser printer, you can color with Copics, and then you can foil, which I don't do, but Lauren just dropped off some foiled pieces for me. Anyway, I've been spending so much money at stinking Kinko's because they're like 40 cents a piece, or 50 cents a piece, excuse me. Anyway, maybe more. One day I spent $40 and I came home and I told Jeff, I go, seriously, we have got to look into getting a laser printer because that's insanity. So, is that good, Tessa? Do you need me to hold it up some more? If you do, just let me know. Anyway, so, the recipe box, Viola Shipman. And Viola Shipman is the pseudonym for the grandson of Viola Shipman. So the grandson wrote the stories. He's an author. Oh my gosh, so good. And so Michigan. Like it's so Michigan. Anyway, it'll just make your heart sing, Miss Sherry. So Jeff went online and looked at all the different laser printers. And you know, my husband is an engineer, and all of his friends from college are engineers, and they have a little Facebook group, or excuse me, little shush up, my shit, my pants, Teresa. Hi Kay, how are you? Anyway, he asked his little nerdy friends, because they have a little group, text message group, and they said to look for an older HP. So he went on OfferUp, his new best friend, because he buys all kinds of weird things on OfferUp. Some things fabulous, some things not so much. But anyway, he found me a laser printer for $45. $45. And it takes like up to 140-pound paper through it. It's the craziest. So now I can just print to my heart's content. I can hardly wait. And I can do it in my pajamas. So, and then this morning he went and bought me a little filing cabinet to put it on top. Put the printer on top of. And guess what? He bought it on OfferUp for $10. So the whole kit and caboodle was like $55. It's fabulous. Anyway, I know, $45, Keely. It was crazy. Yeah, see, that's what I was nervous about, Chris, because I wanted to run. So here's a little tip, and I told you guys last week, but I'll tell you again. Northwood's watercolor paper, Northwood's rubber stamped watercolor paper will print through, you can run it through your printer, no problem. And if you run it through your laser printer, you can paint on it till the cows come home, and it is just beautiful, and it doesn't move. I'm telling you. I know, I told him I'm going to give him a shopping list. Can I tell you, he loves that. He loves the art of finding the, I almost said the art of the deal. Ugh. He loves, like, for him, that's a game. He loves it. So Kay Perry's, are you getting to play with that grandbaby? She has the most darling little boy grandson. Oh my gosh, he's just cute, and his name is Tate. I think that's lovely. And she and her husband are quite tickled to be grandparents. That's for sure. I know, Tate is such a nice name, isn't it? You're too impatient to exactly, Tessa. I can put that. Well, and I think Kay is watching, or she was earlier. I don't know. I can't see that far. Anyway, I'm just continuing to just fill in my heart, and then I will start outlining, and then I'll start painting. How about everybody else? Kay is having a really cool sale, an online sale at her store, Kay and Crafts in Moorhead, Minnesota. Teresa and I went there last summer. Okay, Kay and Crafts. She's on Facebook, and she's having a Facebook sale right now. She's in Moorhead, Minnesota. She has, I think I've talked to you guys about her before. She has the most fabulous wall of stencils you have ever seen. I'm telling you. But this morning she had some birch press dies and some of those diamond, you know, those diamond pressy, I don't know what that's called, where they stick the little jewelry things down into onto the pattern. Oh golly, she had all kinds of things. So be sure to check her out. I noticed lots of scrapbook stores are doing this. They're doing like some online sales. You can get some really cool things. Remember I told you last week about my friend Susan in Oklahoma at Paper Arts Edmond. She has had these Catherine Pooler Canva journals for $18.99, which is heap cheap. Because I think I paid $26 for mine when it first came out. So, and like I said, I just keep making art in there. I hope everybody is having a good Saturday, and they are, you know, making some art and losing yourself in the journey of art instead of the worry of things that we can't control anyway, except continue to wear our masks and social distance. Yes, Tracy in Connecticut. So that's another store that and she's completely online. Tracy is Paper Craft Clubhouse, and she is in Westbrook, Connecticut, and every Thursday morning at like 9 Eastern, I think, she does the best Facebook Lives. Oh my gosh. And I'm telling you, I shop her store from that Facebook Live an awful lot. And what's the other? Oh, Paper Arts, Edmond. Hi, Sue Sterling. Yes, and Tracy ships Lickety Split too. She's in Oklahoma, in Edmond, Oklahoma. Susan. I'm trying to think. Who else did I get a package from this week? Oh, Hannah from the Doodle Bug Inc. And she's in Jasper, Indiana. She's completely online too, so be sure and check her out. And another package I got in the mail today, or this week, from Scrapbook Memories. She's in Harrisonville. Is it Kansas? Yes, Kansas. And that is Courtney. So, lots of online shopping. Lots of online shopping options for you. Oh. Simple Pleasures in Colorado Springs. Colorado. Yes. Let's see. I know I'm getting too many here, but you really, they're all just the most lovely people. And are so kind to me, I'm telling you, and so supportive of me and my art. I do know a lot of stores. Scrapping in the City. Good reminder, Lauren. Scrapping in the City is in Knoxville, Tennessee. And the owner's name is Sarah. And she's about as darling as they come. Okay, let's see. Yes, everybody that I've ordered from has come lickety split. You're right. And our local store, Scraps of Love in Peoria, Arizona. And the owner's name is Chris. I've worked with some amazing people, and you know what? And they are super in tune with what the world of makers, what we're looking for, and what we're kind of what we're all about. So, and it's just fun to get artsy stuff in the mail. I'm trying to remember when Susan at Paper Arts Edmond is doing all kinds of online classes. So you might, oh, that's right. Good thinking, Miss Tessa. There's 2 stores in Michigan. There is Scrappy Chic in Livonia. And this is Renee, and then Paper and I in Marshall, Michigan. She's doing one of those online sales. So All of these stores, here's the thing that all of these stores have in common is that they've been lovely enough to let me draw state stamps for them. I'm so lucky. They trusted me with their dream and their vision of their state. I'm sure I am forgetting somebody somewhere down the line, but you know, I'll be back next Saturday. Oh yes, good thinking, Tessa. Winneconne Crafts in Winneconne, Wisconsin. Paper and I, every Friday, she does a little Facebook Live, and she is the most, I was just telling Lauren about her, she does the most, it's the most organized, like technique driven Facebook Live. She shows you techniques and she shows you the exact products and she's numbered them. I noticed that Kay also numbered hers this morning. That makes it so much easier for faraway shoppers like me. And just if you have pictures of your products on your Facebook, that makes it so easy for faraway shoppers like us that want to support. Certainly, we want to support as many small businesses as we can. Paper and I is also having an online sale on Monday. So be sure and tune into her Facebook on Monday. She's having one of those. What was I? So Chris does every Wednesday, does Lunch with Chris, where she shows techniques and she does, she shows products, and she also does Sunday Fun Day Facebook Live on Sunday mornings at 11:30. I think that's it. I know we're probably way past our hour. Not bad, 12 minutes, not too bad. So until next time, I hope that everybody will keep on making art and playing with colors and Google Gustav Klimt. Like I said, your day will be infinitely better because he was a cool guy. And until next week, let's get artsy together, apart. Talk to you soon, girls. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that you trust me every Saturday. Thanks so much. Bye.